Patriot Boy, you're on the air on the Killstream.
Hey, what's going on? Let me mute the stream real quick.
All right.
Okay. Hey,
Yes.
what's going on?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Hey, so I want to yell at Josh because I think he's a bit of a faggot.
All right, he's not here, so I'm not going to bring him back on. So just say what you want to say.
Okay. Well, Josh, he's actually in the Discord. I think he'll jump on.
Just speak now.
Okay, fine. I'll speak my speech. I think that Josh walked back a lot of his shit, and I think a lot of the stuff that he did say, he was very hypocritical about, and the stuff that he furthered it on as he went on through the night last night.
I mean, he walked back his post. Somebody said I'm cucking for Josh. No, I don't give a fuck. I fucking disagreed with Josh plenty of times. I just don't. I mean, whatever. Just go.
Yeah, no, like I get that you probably dealt with this shit a lot over the past 2 days, and it's a bit annoying. But I think that he said a lot of shit that was just kind of stupid. He goes on about how it's not a big deal. It's just a name and an address or whatever like that. But then he goes on before that to say how he has been doxxed and how it sucked for him because he got swatted X amount of times and all that was shit. And then he goes on to say, well, hey guys, you should try to keep your anonymity.
Okay.
Because...
You know what? If he wants to come back on, he can come back on. The reason I didn't want to bring it back is because like I didn't plan on doing another fucking episode on this tonight. And now here we are an hour in and we're doing another fucking episode on this. And that's the reason. But you know what? Okay, come on. Get back in the green. We'll bring him back on. Who gives a fuck?
Doxing is a tool. Like any other tool, it can be used for good and it can be used for awesome.
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying that like doxing itself is going to go away. I don't think so. Obviously not, right? But it's just I think that a lot of the stuff that he said.
All right, just hold on. Just hold it. I'll just mute myself. I need another drink anyway. I'll just let you guys just please at least make it entertaining. Can you do that?
Josh is in the green room. Do you want me to
Can you at least make that entertaining?
I'll give it my best shot.
He's in the green room.
No, say you're gonna make it entertaining.
Ralphie boy, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it entertaining.
Okay, there you go. I'm gonna mute myself and go get a drink.
Hi, what's up, Josh?
Nothing much, my friend. How are you?
Oh, you know, I got to listening to the Killstream today while I was at work, and I gotta say, I'm pretty pissed at you. Like, and obviously enough, you couldn't really do much about changing the outcome of this, but I think that the way that you talked about this was a bit shitty, and you seem like a bit of a faggot after everything.
That's okay. That's a great opinion.
Okay, so you agree that you're a faggot and that you're a hypocrite and that you walked back all your shit like a little pussy?
I walked back being mad at Jim.
You walked back being mad at Jim?
I walked back being mad at Jim, yes.
Yeah, he did do that.
But what about the stuff that you said that you basically contradicted later?
Can you give an example?
Well, one of the ones that I said already was that how you acted like it wasn't a big deal at first, yet you went on to talk about how it sucked for you when you got doxxed because you've had yourself swatted and all that shit, and that sucked, right?
And I said that wasn't a big deal. When the police come, they were very professional. I talked to them.
Now, let me bring this up. To play devil's advocate, some people brought this up, I guess, in the comments last night. They said, well, Josh talking about, doxing's no big deal, and he got swatted, no big deal. But then you left the country and you're living in Eastern Europe. I mean, some would say maybe that's a consequence of your online actions and people knowing who you are. That's
a fair opinion to have. I left the country because I don't have any faith in the United States.
Yeehaw.
All right.
Well, additionally,
because he wasn't going to bring it up apparently.
I have no active warrants, and I lived after I got doxxed. After the site came back up, I was living out of state for a while. If I wanted to be in the United States, I could very well be in the United States without a problem.
Those are pretty serious consequences, though, right?
Yeah, I think I get the shit harder than most people just because of.
Oh, so it sucks for you, right? It sucks for you, yeah.
Yeah, it does, but there's literally nothing.
But it's not a big deal,
doxing.
right? It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal that you had to move out of the fucking country.
I chose to move out of the country.
Yeah, but it's not a big deal though that you did, right?
Not really. I work online.
No, it's not really a big deal, of course. Yet you went on further to say that people should do their best to keep their anonymity, right?
Yes, I would suggest keeping your anonymity.
Why? It's not a big deal. Also, can you say anonymity for me again?
Anonymity.
That's all right. Yeah, give it a shot. On top of it, though, I think that, you know, there's obviously the route now where all the people that, you know, Jim's pissed off, and you said, yeah, don't put anything out there you don't want your name next to, and people could sue the shit. Yeah, and this has been the common bullshit that's come up a million times, is that he could get sued into the fucking dirt, no matter how shitty.
Let me give you a
hold
little
on.
tip.
Let me.
I know what
real
you're
quick.
going to
Let me
say, and
just
you're
finish. Well, can you let me finish my thought real quick?
Go ahead and finish, and then we'll let Josh speak.
So yeah, even if the lawsuits were shitty and they didn't matter and they were like really poorly put together, no matter what, still defending that would fuck him into the dirt financially, to the point where if enough people got together, and you have to think about how much this gets circulated after all the people and all of their audiences get into this, how much it could really come down on him. And I know that you're not going to take down the site, and I don't expect you to, obviously enough. I don't think you're going to, you know, repeal everything and go back and ban people, but it's just, I feel like it was bullshit, because then you go, well, I'm not going to censor people and I'm not going to ban people. But then you go ahead and you ban a user because he embarrassed you, and because you just wanted this to be this fucking trophy for you. You wanted it to fucking shine your dick up and make it shine nice and bright. And yet it put a little bit of a stain on it. So then you did ban somebody, and you're a filthy fucking hypocrite for that.
Content teasing is against the site rules. If you have content, you should post the content. I told him I was thinking about banning him because of how he handled the docs. He said, okay, go for it. And I did ban him. I don't think that makes me a hypocrite. If anybody else teased docs like that, I would ban them just the same. Doesn't matter who it was.
I think it makes your pussy lips stink pretty bad.
I don't know what that means. But,
I think it means you're a big fat fucking pussy.
That's fine. Whatever. Regarding Jim's docs, the main thing that you're missing out on is that in order to receive payments from AdSense or from Patreon, you have to put in your social security number. And if somebody wants to sue you and they have a claim, there's a way to get servicing through that. You can subpoena Patreon, you can subpoena AdSense for that personal information. You can lodge your lawsuit that way. In fact, I was pretty surprised that Kurt Eichenwald, of all people, did not do that.
Well, Jim's mentioned that too. He will, in an offhanded way, he said that you can typically go through the courts and they'll find a way for you to get the the information for that person, and you know, you could go after them or whatever like that. But you know, it's still like, I feel like a lot of it, you know, you
can see that it would be possible to sue him with or without this information out there.
Oh yeah, no, but I feel like what you've done has, you know, obviously enough, you didn't do shit. You know, obviously enough, that's not you. But ultimately, this and the fact that you've endorsed it as kind of like, you know, the day manager of this shitty little operation, you have gone ahead and made it like you've been like, well, I do believe that this is it because this guy always gets this shit right. Like you went ahead and you endorsed it.
It's not just that he always gets it right. I've looked at it. I cannot find anything contradicting. It's what I like to call anti-fragile, because it's not just strong. It's anytime people look into it more. When people look into Jim, they can find, or Jade, they can find her being a recently registered dental assistant after Jim had recently said that she was in college studying something medical related. It becomes stronger the more you look into it. And if you are curious about it, I would suggest that you look into it. I looked into it. I casually looked through it. I tried to critically evaluate it because I knew people would be throwing shit over it. I could not find anything that would invalidate it. I don't know how that looks bad on me. If it does turn out to be fake, I will absolutely do my best to make that known. And because it happened with the escort, with the DSP escort, we ate shit over that. It was funny while it was happening, but we still ate shit over it because we were wrong. I don't know how that makes me look bad.
Well, I mean, it's not like I didn't come on here expecting some sort of a fucking resolution to everything. But my idea ultimately is just that I think you're a bit of a fucking bitch. Ultimately, I just want to come on and call you a faggot because I feel like you have run in circles around this. And obviously enough, you didn't really do anything.
I don't think I've changed any of my stances, at least. The only thing I changed is that I was mad at Jim for a little bit.
No, but I'm not saying that you, at this point now, are changing stances. But
how did I run in circles then?
Well, throughout your entire conversation with Ralph last night, you constantly said shit that was contradicting previous things that you said.
Nothing I said was contradictory.
I just brought up multiple things that you've contradicted yourself on.
Dealing with the police was not like it wasn't a big deal. I still don't understand that. No, dealing with the police was not a big deal. After the first time, they would just knock.
It can be a big deal when you deal with the police. Let's just put it that way.
Well, luckily I didn't throw any punches while I was fucking there.
And I guess one last thing, and because obviously enough, the chat's turning on me. So I know that you say like you didn't really have much of a stake in this and you didn't really do anything, whatever. There was a lot of shit going around on Poland, on whatever, people talking about it and being like, oh, he finally lost it. Da, 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 da. And these fucking LARPers are out here like, yeah, nobody fucks with us. We can check public records like they're fucking super hackers and shit like that. Even Randbot last night was like, well, I don't want to really fuck with him because they come after me. Shit like that. But
you are fantastic at doing these voices.
Yeah, are you gonna do Josh's voice again? What was that? Was that your impression of him?
My Josh impression's fucking perfect.
The chat did like that. The chat, go ahead and do it again because the chat did like that.
Oh, hey guys, it's me, Josh from Kiwi Farms, and I hope nobody sends somebody to shoot my dog.
Oh,
poor Paul.
Oh.
No, okay. So finally, though, this is my last thing, right? Like, so, I just feel like you said that there wasn't really, you didn't have any kind of fucking investment into this, but obviously enough, yeah, it's just your site and whatever. Like, you didn't actually do any of this, but I do think that investing your like approval into it was kind of bitch made, and on top of that,
I think it's the opposite, to be honest. The fact that I stood by my principles that are used throughout the site, and I didn't try to give Jim a double standard. I think that speaks to principles.
You just reminded me. Okay, so what I was meaning to say was, you made this big point to be like, well, ED is bullshit and ED is garbage and all that shit, and I get that. And ED, I don't fucking care about ED. It's like the Urban Dictionary now. It's so fucking irrelevant. But like, so you made this point to be like, yeah, well, we're like better than ED because we are so researched and we know it all and all that shit. And you said that really, like, you confirmed that you kind of just wanted this to be right so that you did have this sort of trophy of Jim's, docs as part of something that your site did. And I think together with the fact that you've endorsed it and together with the fact that you want this to seem like Kiwi Farms is this fucking reputable wealth of knowledge that is well searched and it is researched and all this shit, I just think it all kind of culminates into this sort of LARPing sort of identity of my super hacker group got together and they got Jim, and I kind of like Jim, but this is pretty valuable for me because there's no fucking way you're not seeing something from all this influx of people, from all the people that Jim's pissed off in their audiences, plus everybody else that's normally on Kiwi coming together and coming to your site. So,
the site itself has been experiencing infighting. I've been eating shit on the Ralph Retort because of it. I don't make any money based off advertising revenue, and I pay out of pocket to keep the site up. I have lost considerably for doing this and for allowing this. And if I was smart, I would have created a double standard for Jim specifically. Regarding Encyclopedia Dramatica, the only difference between the ED and the Kiwi Farms is that the format. It's not a wiki; it's a discussion forum. And we have a little bit of standard regarding posting very falsifiable information.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. I just wanted to call you a big pussy and a bitch and a faggot, and that's pretty much it.
Well, I appreciate it. You were better than the other callers from last night.
I had all day to think about it. It was. All right, I love him, and I know that Ralph he wants to keep everything cool with you because you are sort of fucking valuable to the show because you do have this wealth of shit on your site, but well, all right, Ralph.
The reason I bring him on is because he's been on the show plenty of other times. What am I just gonna blackball him because of this? I mean, I was coming around. Obviously, I'll still have Jim on anytime he wants to. I don't know. I facilitate this conversation. I'm not protecting him or keeping anybody from going at him.
No, absolutely not. But I know that you do want to keep yourself from, and I know that's probably
I'm the host. That's what people don't understand sometimes. I'm the host of the program, so I can talk to a lot of different people. It doesn't mean I'm co-signing what they did or what's going on. So
I know, but you've even said yourself you have to keep yourself aligned in the center, and
the host should try that most of the time, and there are certain exceptions for certain people.
Well, some of your frustration has leaked out here and there, so
yes,
I will say
it's happened. It's happened before. Last night with Kraut, I got a little carried away, but I don't step away from anything I said about him, but I try to keep it a little bit detached. Yes.
All right, man. If you want, you can sunset me. Thanks for taking my call, though.
All right, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Later.
All right, Josh. Let's you get drafted in again, but thank you.
I'll be around.
All right, man.